Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Garbage. My name is Eric Myers. If you didn't know, Mind Garbage is a weekly show that airs every Monday and Friday right here on YouTube. And I just, for about 10 minutes, talk about whatever I want. Well, let me fix my hair. My hair looks pretty nutty. Also, apologizing for the light of God behind me. Usually that's not on, but it's kind of nighttime when I'm doing this, and I don't like to be in complete total darkness. Today, though, I would like to talk to you about Captain America Civil War. It just recently came out about a week and a half or so ago. This is kind of my official review of it myself. Also, if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend you not watch this video because spoiler warning, so spoilers and all that good stuff. Sorry. So right out of the gate, I have to say this is not really like my favorite Marvel movie. Not even really close. I think it's fine and it's serviceable, but there are a lot of issues with the movie that I have a hard time rectifying. And that's what's kind of weird, because like I was so hyped for this movie, and that's the thing, is like the highs in this movie are ridiculous. Like, I mean, they're out of this world high, but it's not really enough to save the fact that this movie is not very good. Like, I mean, it's fine, but it's not like, I just don't think it's that great of a movie. The good things on it that I do want to touch on are, obviously, I think the action scenes themselves, incredible. They're shot really, really well. And I mean, some of the all of the choreography in it with the fighting, it's spectacular. Obviously the airport scene is the big, like, what everyone talks about. And there's a reason for that, because that scene is really awesome and really well done. One of the things that I think is so cool about it is the fact that, they have these wide camera shots or whatever. It zooms out and it's in broad daylight, and it's enough to see, like, you see everyone fighting, and you are able to, make out who's fighting and everything. And the action is intense enough, but it's not muddled into where you can't tell what's really going on. So to me, I thought that was good choreography on their part. The Russo brothers themselves fighting, I really enjoyed, especially the final fight scene between Captain America and Iron Man was awesome. And that kind of segues into like my next point, is that the characters themselves, I mean, they're awesome. Like, I mean, I really think that the thing that this movie does nail is the characters, because people, I feel like for the most part, are kind of like Iron Man fatigued. I understand, but I've always liked that character, and at least thought he was, fun and funny and whatnot. And this movie, I actually cared about Tony Stark. And the thing that I liked that they actually were able to do is, you kind of understand both sides of where Captain America and where Iron Man are coming from. And that, you can look at Captain America and totally know where he's coming from. And the same thing with Iron Man, and to where you, like, there's no, like, well, this guy's kind of crazy for this or whatever. Like, they're both, like, they both make great points for, what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing. And I think, obviously this is, I can't say it's the best depiction of Spider-Man so far. And the only reason why I'm saying that is, like, I think Tom Holland nails it so far. Like, seems really, really good. Really good. And Spider-Man was fantastic. It was awesome to actually see Spider-Man in this movie. My only thing is, like, I really enjoy the Andrew Garfield movies. I mean, I loved the first one. The second one is not very good, but I enjoy that movie for what it is, and the fact that it's just a jumbled mess, but it's fun. But I have spent so much time with Andrew Garfield. I mean, when I walked out of Amazing Spider-Man, I was blown away. That movie is, it's really hard for me to, like, essentially, as long as this Spider-Man, if I just get more of them, and it's actually, like, I'm excited for Spider-Man Homecoming, as long as there's just more of that character and the way that Spider-Man is, then I'm sold. That's the best Spider-Man. But I can't just go outright and say it's the best. That would be wrong. It would be indecent of me. Also, Ant-Man, to me, stole the show. I thought Ant-Man was fantastic in this movie. And, of course, when he does his whole giant man sort of thing, that was really fun. Really funny and awesome to watch. And just everything, like, the way that he was, I felt like he was kind of like a fan of the Avengers. So I think that worked for itself. Ooh, itchy arm. Whew. I think that worked for itself, where it's like, here's this character that is new to all of this. And, same degree with Spider-Man. Like, these are new people. But Ant-Man felt very much like he is a fan of just these people and seeing them, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I liked the characters. Like I said, I like Iron Man and or Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. I mean, like the in fight scene between them, there's a lot of tension in the way that scene was done, and the shot that I really appreciate the fact that they made Captain America almost where like he's not like a complete Boy Scout. And I thought that was cool. The way that they did that was really interesting, and that he's willing to kill Iron Man for Bucky, and how he almost does kill Iron Man. That was crazy. That was cool. Getting to what I didn't necessarily care for is, like I said, the action and characters and all that stuff is really, really well done. But the plot itself, in the way that the villain is introduced, to me doesn't feel really necessary. As far as the villain was completely underutilized, and to me that sucks, because that villain, Baron Zemo, you could have done so much with him and made him an incredibly interesting character. My favorite scene with him actually is when he, you see throughout the movie, he's listening to a voicemail, and that voicemail is from his long dead wife. And that was an interesting concept of like this character that is really a tortured soul, and to where like a villain you could sympathize with, to where he is, and that's kind of like writing a good villain, is that you make them the protagonist of their own story. And that's what I felt he was. But he was completely underutilized, and he didn't feel like I felt you could have had the whole movie without him, and the movie would have been completely fine. And honestly, I felt like the movie would have benefited had he not been in there. And in the comics, this character is supposed to be like an engineer or a scientist or something. Like, he's a smart dude, right? He is apparently just some guy in this movie, and that's just the thing. I cannot rectify the fact that some random dude that was just a little obsessed with the Avengers happened to track them all down and destroy the Avengers. And he's literally just me. He's just a regular old dude. I can't rectify that fact. And just the plot itself is just kind of like, I understand, like, obviously we want to see these characters fight. That's kind of what we were building towards. The way that it was done just felt kind of hokey. Like, even the airport scene, as amazing as that scene was, it was just sort of like, oh, we got to get everyone here because they're all going to go fight each other. And that was just, to me, like, kind of cheap. Like, after that, they're all just arrested, and then, like, it was cool to see them fight. That fight scene was awesome, but it was just unnecessary. And I think really you could have had Civil War. It could have been a different take, essentially, of the Civil War like storyline, which seems to be very divisive. Either people love it or people hate it. And I think the way that you could have done it is just have, really all you need to do, Bucky is wanted. You could have still had that Bucky sort of like storyline of Captain America trying to find him and going out of the bounds of the law to try and get him, and Iron Man not being a big fan of that. And then I feel like that would have been way more interesting. And instead you add a villain that has so much potential to be really cool, and then just kind of like is thrown in there. And then, where this leaves me with like just the future of the movies, that the Avengers is broken up. So the next movie we have is Doctor Strange, and then I believe after that we have, I don't even remember what comes out next year. I think Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, there's something else. I know I'm missing something. But then I believe the following year, like 2018, no, is it 2018 or 19? One of those years is Infinity War. So does that mean that they're just going to kind of like get over, like, oh, by the way, we got to get together, Thanos is coming? And that's kind of like, I understand why like they should be fighting and they're all upset towards each other, and I get it that it ends with them not there. But then, and that's what my problem is, that it ends where it's just like, don't worry, we're cool. I know all this stuff happened and we fought, but if you need me for like any case, and any instance, say alien warlord or whatever tries to come get us and kill us, I'm here, don't worry. And that to me just felt kind of cheap. Like, it didn't. That's the thing, is like this movie has so much, to me, has a lot of potential to be an amazing movie, and that's just, it just didn't really live up to me. And that's the thing, like, that's just my opinion. If you loved the movie, you have every right to love the movie. Like, I understand my opinion on this movie. I'm the outlier on this. I know everyone loves this movie, everyone, and it just didn't necessarily click with me. And but granted, it's like, if I had to put a rating on it, it is somewhere like in the sevens. Like, this is a good movie, but it's like a low sevens, maybe even high six. Like, it's okay, like, it's fine for me. But, and if you feel higher, that's great, that's grand. But if you don't, if you agree with me, that's cool too. That's just my opinion. But that's the way it goes. But thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. You can subscribe to this channel, share this video with your friends. You can follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93. Link down below. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys this Friday.